My family said they didn't need my help, so I stopped helping them. I'd been sending my mom $2,000 every month for 5 years to help with bills after my dad passed away. My younger sister Katie lived with her and was in community college, and my brother Ryan was barely making it on his construction job. The money covered their rent, utilities, groceries, and whatever else they needed to stay afloat. I didn't mind. I had a good job as an accountant and no kids. It felt like the right thing to do. Then in March, my mom called and said they didn't need my help anymore. She said Katie had gotten a good job at some medical office and Ryan had been promoted, and together they were making enough to cover everything. She thanked me for all the years of support and said I should save my money for my own future now. I felt relieved, honestly. $2,000 a month adds up, and I'd been putting off buying a house because I wanted to make sure my family was okay first. So I stopped the automatic transfers and started saving for a down payment instead. But then the texts started getting weird. Katie would message me asking if I wanted to grab lunch, which was strange because she usually only texted me to ask about money or to complain about mom. When we met up, she ordered the most expensive thing on the menu and paid for both of us. Said she wanted to treat me for once since I'd helped them for so long. She was wearing new clothes too, designer stuff, a leather jacket that probably cost more than I spent on clothes in a year. When I asked about the medical office job, she got vague, said it was reception work, filing, answering phones, nothing that would explain the sudden upgrade in her lifestyle. Ryan started posting photos on social media from places he shouldn't be able to afford, weekend trips to Seattle, expensive dinners downtown, a new truck that had to have cost at least $40,000. His construction company hadn't promoted anyone in years as far as I knew, and even if they had, the jump in income didn't make sense with what he was spending. I drove by my mom's apartment one Saturday and saw 3 cars in the parking spaces, her old sedan, Katie's beat-up Honda, and a black Mercedes SUV I didn't recognize. I sat in my car watching for 20 minutes until a man in his 50s came out of their building and got into the Mercedes. He looked familiar somehow, but I couldn't place him. The next month, Katie posted a photo from inside what looked like a really nice restaurant. Ryan was there too, and my mom, all dressed up and smiling. The kind of place with cloth napkins and wine lists. The caption said family dinner with a heart emoji. They hadn't invited me. I called my mom and asked if everything was okay. She said everything was great, better than it had been in years. I asked about the dinner and she got quiet for a second before saying it was last minute and she didn't want to bother me since I was probably busy. That's when I started paying attention to their Venmo accounts. Katie's was public, and I could see transactions going back months. Someone named Marcus was sending her $500 every week, just $500, like clockwork, every single Friday. No note attached, no explanation. Ryan's Venmo showed the same thing. Different account, same person. Marcus, $500 every Friday. I searched for Marcus on their social media, but found nothing. None of them followed anyone by that name. No photos, no tags, no mentions. It was like he existed only to send them money. Then I remembered the man getting into the Mercedes outside mom's apartment. I pulled up the photo on my phone and zoomed in on the license plate. Then I ran it through a database my buddy at the DMV owed me a favor for. The car was registered to Marcus Webb, same address as the medical office where Katie supposedly worked. I drove to that address the next day. It wasn't a medical office at all, and what I found there made everything make sense in the worst possible way. The rest of the story is on my channel or linked below. I stand in front of a sleek glass building with exclusive connections etched on the door in elegant script. This is definitely not a medical office. The lobby inside is all marble and mood lighting, with a receptionist behind a curved desk who looks like she moonlights as a model. "Can I help you?" she asks, her smile professional but wary. "I'm here to see Katie Walsh," I say, trying to sound confident. "I'm her brother." The receptionist's smile falters slightly. "I'm not sure we have anyone by that name working here." "That's strange," I reply, pulling out my phone, "because this is the address listed for Marcus Webb's business, and my sister told me she works at his medical office." At the mention of Marcus's name, her demeanor changes. She picks up her phone and murmurs something I can't hear. While she's distracted, I glance around the lobby. There are framed photographs on the walls, elegant couples at charity galas, on yachts, at mountain retreats. The men are all significantly older than the women beside them. A brochure on the coffee table catches my eye. Exclusive connections, where successful men meet exceptional women. I quickly snap a photo with my phone. "Mr. Webb will see you now," the receptionist says, gesturing toward a hallway. "Third door on the right." Marcus Webb's office is exactly what you'd expect from someone who drives a Mercedes SUV and hands out weekly payments like candy. Floor-to-ceiling windows, custom furniture, and a desk that probably cost more than my car. The man himself rises as I enter the same man I saw leaving my mom's apartment. "You must be Katie's brother," he says, extending his hand. "She's mentioned you." I don't take it. "What kind of medical office is this exactly?" He chuckles, withdrawing his hand. "I think we both know this isn't a medical office. Please, sit down." I remain standing. "What does my sister actually do for you?" "Exclusive Connections is a premium matchmaking service," he says smoothly. "We pair successful, established gentlemen with ambitious young women seeking mentorship and support. So it's a sugar daddy service," I say flatly. Marcus winces slightly. "That term is rather crude. We prefer mutually beneficial arrangements. Your sister has an excellent personality and social skills that make her very popular with our clients." My stomach turns. "And my brother? What's his role in all this?" "Ryan helps with logistics, driving clients, security, that sort of thing." Marcus leans back in his chair. "Your family has been a tremendous asset to my business. Katie connects well with clients. Ryan ensures everything runs smoothly. And your mother?" "My mother what?" I demand. "She's my personal assistant," he says, but his smirk tells me there's more to it. "And occasionally, she attends events with me. She receives $1,000 weekly for her various contributions." The pieces click together. The sudden financial independence, the new clothes, the family dinners I wasn't invited to, all of it funded by this man and his matchmaking business. "Does Katie actually work in reception here?" I ask, already knowing the answer. Marcus laughs. "Katie hasn't answered a phone professionally in her life. She's one of our top companions. The clients adore her." I turn to leave, disgusted, but Marcus calls after after me. They chose this, you know. I didn't force them into anything. They were struggling financially, and I offered a solution, one they were quite happy with. I don't respond. Just walk out past the beautiful receptionist and into the parking lot where I sit in my car for 10 minutes, trying to process what I've learned. Then I drive straight to my mom's apartment. When she opens the door, her face falls. She knows. I know. We need to talk, I say, pushing past her into the apartment. The place looks different. New furniture, new artwork on the walls, a large TV I don't recognize. Katie is sitting on the couch, scrolling through her phone. She looks up, startled. "What are you doing here?" she asks. "I went to your medical office today," I say, making air quotes. "Had a nice chat with Marcus Webb about his matchmaking business." Mom closes the door and sighs. "It's not what you think." "Really? Because I think you're all working for a luxury escort service. Katie's dating rich old men for money. Ryan's playing chauffeur and bodyguard, and you're sleeping with the boss while getting twice what they make. Did I miss anything?" Katie stands up, defensive. "It's legitimate employment. We sign contracts. Everything's legal. Is that why you lied to me about it? Because it's so legitimate?" Mom steps between us. "We didn't lie. We just simplified things. Katie does work at that office. Ryan does have a better job now. We didn't need your money anymore, and we didn't want you judging us." "Judging you? You cut me out of your lives. You've been having family dinners without me while taking money from this guy? What was I supposed to think?" "We thought you wouldn't understand," Katie says quietly. "You've always been the responsible one, the one who does everything right. We knew you'd disapprove. So instead of talking to me, you just decided to pretend I don't exist? Nice family values you're showing there." Mom sits down heavily on the couch. "Marcus suggested it would be better if we had some space from you at first, just until we got established in our new roles. Marcus suggested it, I repeat, and you all just went along with it. Cut me out of your lives because some guy who's paying you said so. It's not like that," Mom insists. "We're building something here, a future. We don't have to struggle anymore." I look around at the apartment, at all the new things bought with Marcus's money. And what happens when he decides he's done with all of you? When he finds a new family to manipulate? Neither of them has an answer for that. "This is legitimate employment," Mom finally says, repeating Katie's words like a mantra. "We're not doing anything wrong." I head for the door, pausing with my hand on the knob. "If it's so legitimate, why did you have to lie about it?" I leave without waiting for an answer, my mind already racing with what to do next. Because there's no way I'm letting Marcus Webb continue to manipulate my family, no matter how willingly they've fallen into his web. After leaving my mom's apartment, I sit in my car for a long time, staring at the steering wheel. The conversation replays in my mind the way Mom and Katie defended Marcus, how quickly they'd chosen his money over our relationship. I need to understand what I'm up against. I pull out my laptop and start researching Marcus Webb. Public records show he owns exclusive connections in 3 cities here, plus Denver and Phoenix. His social media is carefully curated: charity galas, business awards, luxury vacations. Nothing about his matchmaking business. I dig deeper, searching for connections, patterns. It takes 2 days of obsessive research before I find something. A Reddit thread from 3 years ago. Has anyone else been approached by exclusive connections? The post describes a scenario eerily similar to my family's: a single mother with college-age children, financial struggles, then sudden prosperity after meeting Marcus. I messaged the poster privately. Within hours, I have names of 3 other families across the 3 cities, all with the same pattern: financially struggling single parents, college-age children suddenly flush with cash, family dynamics completely transformed. I create a spreadsheet tracking the similarities. The pattern becomes clear. Marcus doesn't just find random young women. He targets entire families in financial distress, offering them all roles in his operation. It's systematic. My phone rings. Ryan's name appears on the screen. "Hello?" I answer cautiously. "I need your help," he says, his voice tight with panic. "Can you meet me? Now?" 30 minutes later, I'm sitting across from Ryan at a coffee shop far from Marcus's office. My brother looks terrible, unshaven, dark circles under his eyes, constantly glancing over his shoulder. "What's going on?" I ask. "I fucked up," he whispers. "I've been skimming money from Marcus, taking cash from clients, reporting lower amounts." My stomach drops. "How much?" "About 15 grand over the past few months." He runs his hands through his hair. "I thought he wouldn't notice. He has so much money, but his accountant did an audit yesterday. Does he know it was you?" Ryan nods miserably. "He called me into his office this morning, said he was disappointed, that he'd given our family everything, and this is how I repay him." Ryan's voice breaks. "He said he'd have to tell Mom and Katie what I did, that they'd be devastated." "What did he say he's going to do?" "He gave me 3 days to return the money or he'll go to the police." Ryan looks up at me, desperate. "I don't have it. I spent it on gambling debts." I sit back, processing this. "Why are you telling me this? You know I don't have that kind of money." "Because you were right about him," Ryan admits. "He's not just some generous guy helping our family. There's something off about how he operates. The way he talks about his collection of families." "His collection?" Ryan nods. "That's what he calls it. He has this map in his private office with pins in different cities. Each pin represents a family he's brought into his business." The spreadsheet on my laptop suddenly feels more sinister. "Ryan, I need you to tell me everything you know about his operation." For the next hour, Ryan spills everything. How Marcus identifies vulnerable families, how he approaches them with offers that seem too good to refuse, how he gradually separates family members who might object like me. He pays different amounts to create hierarchy, Ryan explains. Mom gets more than Katie and me, so she feels special, in control. But it also makes Katie and me resent her a little. "Divide and conquer," I murmur. "Exactly. And he's always asking questions about you, what you're doing, what you care about. He seemed really interested in your IT background." That night, I drive to Mom's apartment again. This time she's alone. Katie is out with a client. The word makes my skin crawl. "We need to talk about Marcus," I say as soon as she lets me in. "I told you, it's legitimate." "Ryan is in trouble," I interrupt. "He's been stealing from Marcus, and now Marcus is threatening to go to the police." Mom's face pales. "What? No, Marcus would have told me." "Would he? Are you sure he tells you everything?" I sit down across from her. "Mom, I've been researching. Marcus has done this before, finding families in financial trouble, offering them money, jobs, security, then controlling controlling them. That's not. He paid you to cut me out, didn't he? The question hangs in the air. Mom's silence is all the confirmation I need. Why? I ask, my voice breaking slightly. Why would you agree to that? Mom sits down heavily. He said you would try to interfere, that you wouldn't understand the opportunity he was giving us. She looks away. He offered an extra $500 a week if we limited contact with you. The betrayal stings, even though I'd suspected it, and you took it. We were drowning, Mom whispers. The medical bills from Dad's final months, Katie's student loans, Ryan's gambling debts. Marcus made it all go away. No, he didn't. He just made you dependent on him instead of me. Mom looks up, tears in her eyes. He said you were competition, that you'd always been the provider, the protector, and you wouldn't want to give that up, that you'd try to turn us against him. Competition, I repeat, the words settling like a stone in my stomach. He saw me as competition for control of this family. He said we could have a fresh start. No more struggling, no more stress. Mom wipes her eyes. I know it was wrong to shut you out, but the money, it solved everything. Except it didn't, I say quietly. Because now Ryan's in trouble. Katie's being pimped out to rich men, and you've lost your son. Mom flinches at my words. It's not like that. Katie chooses who she dates. Ryan makes his own decisions. Does he? Because right now, he's terrified that Marcus is going to destroy his life. I stand up. Marcus doesn't care about this family. We're just another pin on his map, another collection in his portfolio. What are you going to do? Mom asks, suddenly looking afraid. I'm going to stop him, I say, before he does this to another family. As I leave the apartment, my phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. I understand you've been asking questions about me. Perhaps we should meet. I might have a proposition that interests you. Marcus Webb. I stare at the message, my heart pounding. He knows I'm investigating him. The question is, how much does he know about what I've found? I text back a single word. When? His response comes immediately. Tomorrow, 9 p.m., the Obsidian Club. Come alone. I save the message, a plan already forming in my mind. Marcus Webb thinks he's in control, that he can manipulate me the way he's manipulated my family. But he's about to learn that I'm not as easily bought as he thinks. I spend 3 days planning my confrontation with Marcus. After what Ryan told me about the collection of families, I know I need evidence of what Marcus is doing. Evidence that can't be denied or explained away. The Obsidian Club turns out to be exactly what you'd expect. A members-only establishment in the wealthiest part of the city, with a dress code that probably costs more than my monthly rent and security, that looks like they moonlight as professional fighters. I stand across the street, watching men in expensive suits hand their keys to valets. There's no way I'm getting past the front door through normal channels. But I didn't spend 4 years getting an IT degree to be stopped by a velvet rope. I pull out my laptop in my car and get to work. The club's Wi-Fi network is secure, but their reservation system isn't. 20 minutes of focused hacking later, I've added myself to tonight's guest list under the name James Collins, a visiting executive from their Chicago location. I've also cloned the digital membership card that members flash at the entrance. At 8:45, I approach the entrance wearing the only suit I own, the one I bought for job interviews after college. The doorman checks his tablet. Mr. Collins, he says with a nod. Welcome to the Obsidian Club. Mr. Webb mentioned you would be joining him tonight. My heart skips. Marcus is expecting me to try something like this. I keep my face neutral as the doorman continues. He's in the amber room, 3rd floor, end of the hall. Inside, the club is all dark wood, leather furniture, and subdued lighting. Men in expensive suits network over drinks, while attractive young women circulate among them. I recognize 2 of them from photos in Marcus's office, more of his companions. I take the elevator to the 3rd floor, my phone recording in my pocket. The weight of what I'm about to do settles on my shoulders. This man has my entire family in his grip. If I fail, I could make things worse for all of them. The amber room is a private lounge with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Marcus sits alone at a table in the corner, swirling amber liquid in a crystal glass. He smiles when he sees me, not surprised at all. Right on time, he says, gesturing to the chair across from him. I appreciate punctuality. I sit down, keeping my expression neutral. You wanted to talk. Marcus studies me for a moment. You know, when I first met your family, I knew you would be the problem, the responsible one, the protector. He takes a sip of his drink. Your mother told me how you stepped up after your father died, paid for Ryan's college, helped with Katie's rent. Admirable, really. Is that why you paid them to cut me out of their lives? He chuckles. Direct. I like that. He sets his glass down. Yes, I saw you as competition. My business model works best when I'm the sole provider, the only solution to a family's problems. Your business model, I repeat. You mean manipulating vulnerable families into working for your sugar dating service? Exclusive Connections provides a valuable service, he says smoothly. Wealthy men get companionship from beautiful young women. Those women receive financial support and connections they could never access otherwise. Everyone benefits. And the families, what do they get? Security, stability, freedom from financial worry. He leans forward. Do you know how many families are one medical bill away from bankruptcy? One layoff away from eviction? I find them when they're drowning and throw them a lifeline. A lifeline with strings attached. Everything has strings attached, he says, shrugging. I'm just honest about mine. I think about my mother's apartment, the new furniture, the relief in her eyes when she talked about not struggling anymore. How many families are in your collection? Marcus raises an eyebrow, impressed. Ryan told you about that, did he? Before or after he admitted to stealing from me? Does it matter? I suppose not. He takes another sip of his drink. 17 families across 3 cities. Soon to be 18, if things go well in Seattle next month. My stomach turns. 17 families you've manipulated into dependency. 17 families I've rescued from financial ruin, he counters. Your mother was drowning in medical debt from your father's illness. Ryan had gambling debts he was hiding from all of you. Katie was about to drop out of college because she couldn't afford tuition. He leans back. I solved all of that by turning my sister into an escort. Marcus's expression hardens. A companion. There's a difference, is there? Katie chooses her clients, sets her own boundaries, and she's making more money than she ever would have with that psychology degree she was pursuing. He studies me. You think you're protecting her, but you're actually limiting her. They all chose this. After you manipulated them. He sighs as if disappointed by my stubbornness. I've been watching you, you know. Your research, your digging, your little spreadsheet tracking my business. He smiles when he sees my surprise. Yes, I know about that. I have resources you can't imagine. My pulse quickens. Is that supposed to scare me? Not at all. It's supposed to impress you. He reaches into his jacket and pulls out an envelope, sliding it across the table. I want to offer you a position. I stare at the envelope without touching it. You're joking. I never joke about business. You have skills I could use. Technical skills, analytical thinking, determination. He taps the envelope. $10,000 a month. Starting today. The amount is staggering more than twice what my mother receives. To do what exactly? IT security for my operation, background checks on potential clients, and he smiles. Family management. Family management? Finding new families for our expansion. Identifying vulnerabilities, points of leverage. He says this like it's perfectly reasonable. You've already shown aptitude for the work with your research on my current operations. I feel sick. You want me to help you target more families like mine? I want you to help me help more families like yours. He corrects. Think about it. No more financial struggles. Your family back together this time, with you included. Everyone wins. I look at the envelope, thinking about my recording, about the evidence I'm gathering with every word he says. And if I refuse, his smile doesn't waver, but his eyes go cold. Then things become difficult for everyone. Is that a threat? An observation. Your brother stole from me. That's a criminal offense. He takes a sip of his drink. Your mother and sister have signed contracts with non-disclosure agreements. Breaking those has significant financial penalties. You'd destroy my family if I expose you. I wouldn't have to. The legal system would do it for me. He spreads his hands. But it doesn't have to come to that. Take the offer. Join your family in prosperity. I pick up the envelope, weighing it in my hand. Can I think about it? Of course. You have until tomorrow night. He finishes his drink. But I should warn you, if you're recording this conversation, as I suspect you are, it won't help you. Everything I've described is perfectly legal. Distasteful to some, perhaps, but legal. My heart sinks. He knows. Of course he knows. $10,000 a month, he continues. To use your skills for something productive instead of fighting a battle you can't win. He stands, straightening his jacket. Think about what that money could do for you, for your family. As he walks away, he pauses beside me. Oh, and if you're planning to go to the authorities, remember I have 17 families who will testify that I saved them. What do you have? After he's gone, I sit alone in the amber room, staring at the envelope in my hands. $10,000 a month to betray more families like mine. To help Marcus expand his web of manipulation and dependency, I slide the envelope into my pocket and stand up. Marcus is right about one thing. I don't have enough evidence yet, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop looking, because there's no way his operation is as clean as he claims. Men like Marcus always have secrets, and I'm going to find them. As I leave the club, my phone buzzes with a text from Ryan. Did you meet with him? What happened? I don't respond immediately. Instead, I sit in my car and replay the recording of our conversation. Marcus was careful, never explicitly stating anything illegal, always framing his operation as a legitimate business helping struggling families. But there was something in his eyes when he talked about his collection, something possessive and cold that no recording could capture, something that told me there was more to Marcus Webb's operation than he was letting on. I text Ryan back. He offered me a job, $10,000 a month to help him find more families like ours. Ryan's response is immediate. Are you going to take it? I stare at my phone for a long moment before typing. No, but I'm going to make him think I am. Birkin, pleasing, because Marcus Webb might have my family in his grip, but he's about to learn that I'm not as easily manipulated as he thinks. And unlike my family, I know exactly what kind of man he really is. I stare at the recording on my phone, Marcus Webb's voice crystal clear as he describes his collection of 17 families. The evidence isn't perfect. He was careful not to explicitly admit to anything illegal, but it's enough to start with. I've spent the night researching federal statutes, trying to find the right angle to bring him down without destroying my family in the process. By morning, I've made my decision. I create a new email account from a public library computer and compose a detailed message to the FBI's Financial Crimes Division. I attach the audio recording, along with my spreadsheet documenting the patterns across all of Marcus's families. I explain the payment structures, the manipulation tactics, and most importantly, I focus on the financial aspects, the unreported income, the cash payments, the likely tax evasion. Follow the money, I type as my final line before hitting send. It worked for taking down Al Capone. Maybe it will work for Marcus Webb too. 3 days pass with no response. I'm beginning to think my anonymous tip has been ignored when Ryan calls me, panic evident in his voice. They're raiding the office, he says breathlessly. FBI agents everywhere. They're seizing computers, files, everything. My heart pounds as I process this. Are you there now? No, Katie called me. She was there for a meeting when they showed up. His voice drops. She said they have Marcus in handcuffs. I feel a complicated mix of relief and dread. What about Mom? Is she okay? I don't know. I've been trying to call her, but she's not answering. I find my mother at her apartment, sitting on the couch with Katie, both of them pale-faced and silent. Katie looks up when I enter, her expression a mixture of anger and fear. Did you do this? She demands. I don't deny it. I had to stop him. Stop him from what? Helping us? Katie stands up, hands clenched at her sides. Do you have any idea what you've done? Mom reaches for Katie's arm, pulling her back down. Katie, please. She looks at me, her eyes red-rimmed. The FBI came to talk to me. They said I might face charges for tax evasion, possibly conspiracy. The words hit me like a physical blow. This is exactly what I was afraid of. Marcus taking my family down with him. What did you tell them? Everything, Mom says quietly. They offered reduced sentences in exchange for cooperation against Marcus. They said they've been watching him for months, that our family wasn't the first to report concerns. This surprises me. Other families came forward? Mom nods. Apparently, we weren't the only ones who had someone looking out for them. She reaches for my hand. I'm sorry for everything, for choosing the money over you, for letting him convince me that cutting you out was the right thing to do. Katie remains silent, staring at the floor. I can see she's still processing everything, still angry at me for upending the comfortable life she'd settled into. What happens now? I ask. We cooperate, Mom says firmly. We tell them everything we know about Marcus's operation. The agent I spoke with, Agent Harlow, said if we're forthcoming, they'll recommend probation instead of jail time. Ryan arrives 20 minutes later, bringing news that the FBI has seized Marcus's black Mercedes SUV and raided his home as well. They found financial records for all 17 families, he tells us, and evidence that he was planning to expand to Seattle next month, just like he told you. So what did he actually get charged with? I ask. Tax evasion, money laundering, wire fraud, Ryan lists off. They're still going through everything, but Agent Harlow said they've already found millions in unreported income. Just like Al Capone, I murmur, thinking of my anonymous tip. The next few weeks are a blur of FBI interviews, meetings with court-appointed lawyers, and difficult conversations. Mom, Ryan, and Katie all receive reduced sentences, probation, and community service, along with orders to pay back taxes on the income they received from Marcus. The court recognizes they were manipulated, even if they were willing participants. Marcus doesn't fare as well. With evidence from all 17 families and his own financial records, he's looking at significant prison time. I attend his arraignment, watching from the back of the courtroom as he's led in wearing an orange jumpsuit instead of his usual tailored suit. He spots me and holds my gaze, his expression unreadable. 1 month after the raid, Mom invites me to dinner at her apartment. It's just the four of us. Mom, Ryan, Katie, and me sitting around her small dining table. The expensive furniture is gone, sold to help pay legal fees. The apartment feels smaller, humbler, but somehow more honest. I've been thinking about starting a foundation, I tell them over dessert. Something to help families who are struggling financially, to prevent them from falling into situations like ours. With what money? Katie asks, her tone still slightly bitter. She's had the hardest time adjusting to life after Marcus, having to find legitimate employment for significantly less pay. I've been saving, I say, and I've got some investors interested. People who want to help families before they become desperate enough to accept offers like Marcus's. Mom reaches across the table and takes my hand. I think that's a wonderful idea. I could help, Ryan offers. With the outreach part, I know what to look for now. The signs that a family is vulnerable. Katie remains quiet for a moment, then sighs. I could volunteer some hours, I guess. I'm studying for my real estate license now, but I'll have some free time. It's a small step, but it feels like the beginning of something important. As we continue talking, making plans for the foundation, I realize that Marcus was right about one thing: my family did need help. They just didn't need his kind of help, with all its strings and manipulation. Later that night, as I'm leaving the apartment, Mom walks me to the door. I know I've said it before, she says quietly, but I'm sorry. I chose money over our relationship, and I'll regret that for the rest of my life. I hug her tightly. We're going to be okay, I tell her, and for the first time since this all began, I actually believe it. The next day, I receive an envelope in the mail with no return address. Inside is a single sheet of paper with a handwritten note. You won this round, but I won't be away forever. M.W. I stare at the note for a long moment, then fold it carefully and place it in my desk drawer. Marcus Webb might think this is just a temporary setback, but he underestimates what I've learned through all of this: that true family can't be bought, and that some things are worth fighting for, no matter the cost. I pick up my phone and call Agent Harlow. There's still work to be done,